So, we'll talk Unit 1 review today. Okay? And then tomorrow will be your summative. So don't freak out because the dividers are up today and a lot of people coming in got a little scared. Okay? So we tested quiz on Friday. Pink worksheet due today. Just showed you where the answers were if you wanted to check your answers on the canvas. So that's up ready to go. All right. So a couple of things that you should do prior to the test tomorrow. So first off, you should make sure to check that all of your homeworks are at 100%. Okay? So we've got the week 1 worksheet, the week 2 worksheet. Okay, so those two. I want to say it was, one of them was yellow. Which one was yellow? Week 1 was yellow. Okay. Week 2 was green. No, not green. Blue. Blue. Yeah, week 2 is blue. Okay, so week 1 was yellow. Put that right on there. The formative assessment, formative assessments are always green. I know that one. Week 2's was blue. And this week's is pink. So you want to make sure that those 4 things are at 100%. So definitely, if you didn't have, if you have some problems on the formative that you need to fix it, those are on the back side. Those need to be fixed and turned in. Week 2 worksheet, all that fun stuff, all is up. Okay. So then you want to go back and you want to go back and fix and correct anything that isn't 100%. Great place to study is by doing all your homework. Great place to study. Those problems, those similar type problems will be on your test tomorrow. Okay. Next thing you want to do is you want to study the material. Okay, so go back over your quiz that was from last week. Okay, the summative quiz. Make sure you understand what you did wrong on those problems, so you don't keep making those same mistakes. Likewise, on your homeworks, on your formatives, go back over those. Make sure you understand, oh, okay, that's what I did, but this is what I should have done, or things of that nature. And then lastly, you definitely want to keep asking questions until everything is 100%, until everything is normal. Like you don't even think about doing it the wrong way, you do it the right way. Okay? Practice makes perfect. Okay? And I'd rather have you all get A's than all get F's. All right? Any questions on that stuff? Yes, ma'am. One, I think. I can't remember. I'll check. I'll check in when I get you a one. Some review problems. Okay. Oh, I'm guessing so because look at what showed up here. So my guess is yes, but I think it's just one. Might be two. Okay. Things you got to know for the test: simplifying expressions. Okay. That's please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Order of operations type stuff, and utilizing formulas too is kind of in there. Solving formulas is kind of a simplifying expression. Solving equations, solving inequalities, solving absolute value inequalities, solving absolute values, all that fun stuff. Okay. Okay. So we've got, you know what I mean? We've got solving absolute values, we've got solving absolute value inequalities. We've got solving equations, we've got solving inequalities. Word problems and solving equations, you know, they're all kind of intermixed, intertwined. Okay? So let's go with simplify the first one, solve the second one. Go for it. So first one first would tell me I got to distribute in this 2. So So that's going to give me 6 plus 4x. Then I'm going to distribute in this negative 4, and that's going to give me positive 12x plus 84. And then I'll combine some like terms, and I've got 4x's plus 12x's gives me 16x's, and 6 plus 84 is positive 90. So I get 16x plus 90 on the simplification there. Yes? Okay. Okay. Now, on the second one, I've heard a couple of different alternatives here. We could multiply through everything by 7 to get rid of the first fraction. Then we could but then we would still have a fraction left over because that multiplying by 7 will get rid of my first fraction. So then I have to multiply through by 5 to get rid of the second fraction. Or I can do that all in one step, and I can multiply the entire equation here by 35. So then that 35 would get multiplied there, and there. Which makes kind of big numbers, but that's okay. We can handle it. Okay. So 35 divided by 7 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 35 divided by 5 is 7 times negative 3 is negative 21x. 35 times 8 is 280? Yeah. Because 8 times 30 is 240. 5 times 8 is 40. 240 plus 40 is 280. Now what? Subtract 25. That's going to be negative 21x equals 255. Divide by negative 21. Yeah? Is it going evenly? No? Okay. So then x is going to be negative 255 is divisible by 3. 85 times 21 is divisible by 3. So I get negative 85 sevenths. Yes? I would also accept there, what would that be, negative 12 and 1/7. But I like negative 85 sevenths better. Questions on either one of those two? Again, if we would have done those separately instead of multiplying by 35, we would have been okay, but we would have still been in the same spot. Okay? I know in this second one it doesn't look like it because it's the equation generator here, but that is an absolute value in the second, in both of them actually. So solve me absolute value. Solving an absolute value equation, first thing I got to do is I've got to write it without the absolute value symbol, and then I got to write it without the absolute value symbol, but I put a negative on the other side. Negate the whole other side. So then I'm going to add 3. And that's going to give me x is 24, which, quick check, 24 minus 3 is 21. Absolute value of 21 is 21, and 21 is equal to 21. And then that's also going to give me x is equal to negative 18. Negative 18 minus 3 is negative 21. Absolute value of negative 21 first equation, I write it without, but then my second equation, I've got to negate that whole side, whatever's over there. I've got to put a negative on that whole side. And so, add 5. At the same time, we can subtract 4x. That's going to give me negative x is equal to positive 6. And then we're going to divide by negative 1 or multiply by negative 1 either way. And that's going to give me x is negative 6. I'm going to do a quick check on negative 6 here. Negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. Negative 18 minus 5 is negative 23. Negative 23 has an absolute value of positive 23. On the other side, I've got 4 times negative 6, which is negative 24, plus 1 is negative 23. Are those two equal? No. So that one gets thrown out. So that one automatically is extraneous. And I just don't put it down in my answer. Then I go to the next one. And I say to myself, well, this is 3x minus 5 equals negative 4x minus 1. And now I'm going to add 5. And I'm going to add 4x. And that's going to give me 7x equals 4. Then I'm going to divide by 7. And I'm going to get x equals 4 sevenths. 3 times 4 sevenths is 12 sevenths. 12 sevenths minus 5 was really going to be minus 35 sevenths, because that's 5. So that's going to be negative 23 sevenths. Absolute value is going to be positive 23 sevenths. Go to the other side. 4 times 4 sevenths is 16 sevenths. Plus 1. 1 is really 7 sevenths. And that gets me 23 sevenths. Is 23 sevenths equal to 23 sevenths? Yeah. So that gives me an answer there of x equals 4 sevenths. Questions, comments, concerns, clarification? Okay. Try those two. Solve, graph, and put in interval notation. So give me all 3 forms, because the possibility exists tomorrow that I'm going to ask for all 3 forms. So I would start here by multiplying everything by 4 on that one. Multiply all them all by 4, get rid of the fraction. So then that's going to become negative 8 is less than 2m plus 4 is less than or equal to 60. Then subtract 4. And I got to subtract 4 in all of those spots. Just like I had to multiply by 4 in all of those spots. Okay. That's going to give me negative 12 is less than 2m is less than 56. Then we're going to divide by 2 in all the spots. So that's going to give me negative 6 is less than m is less, oops, this should have been less than or equal to, excuse me, pardon me, less than or equal to 28. That's the solve part. It said solve, graph, and interval notation. Now, come on, finger. And the graph part would be a number line with -6 and positive 28 on it. Open or close dot at -6. Open or close dot at 28. Close, handle, or RTV. The handle, yep, one in between. Okay. So there's the graph. Interval notation would be a parenthesis at -6 and a bracket at 20. Okay. Next one. Treat it as if it were an equal sign. Subtract 8. Subtract 6x. Give me -2x is equal to -10. Divide by -2. That's going to give me x is 5. Subtract 8. Add 6x. Give me 10x equals -6. Divide by 10. That's going to give me x is -3/5. Okay. On this particular one, it's actually easier to make the graph first. So let's make the graph. We've got -3/5. We've got 5. Open or close dots at both of them. Open dots at both of them. Okay. It's a less than case, so it would be a handle. Okay? But if we don't remember that, we can always test a point. So I'm going to test here the number 0. It's an easy one to test. Okay? I put 0 back into my original equation. 4 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 8 is 8. The absolute value of 8 is 8. 6 times 0 is 0. Minus 2 is -2. Is 8. Wait, tap the brakes. Less than. Why didn't it not go? What did I screw up on? 088. Hold on. So that's false. So then this is going outside like that. Yep. Then you want to do inequality next, or do you want to do interval next? Interval? Okay. So the interval would be from -infinity to -3/5, union with 5 to infinity. inequality would be x is less than negative 3/5 or x is greater than 5. Questions, comments, concerns, clarification? Again, I'll go back to one of the first slides, and I will say that make sure that all 4 of those are at 100%. Best way that you can study for tomorrow's test. Tomorrow's test is a summative. Come on now. Be a front and a back. It'll be worth 28 points. In terms of word problems, back to your question before, Kia, in terms of word problems, 2 word problems. 14 total questions. Yes, ma'am.
What?